Hello everyone and welcome back to a brand new video and welcome to episode 13 of our MotoGP 25 Let's Play. Yes, we return this weekend here for the Hungarian Grand Prix. Of course, if you missed out on the video that went live over the weekend from Austria, I would highly recommend going back and checking it out. A little bit of housekeeping though, before we go into this one. I'm going to start doing this series probably 4 times a week now, just so it gives me a bit of a chance to get ahead on the videos, so we can keep playing this whilst F1 25 releases. We are 12th though in the standings after a bit of a disaster last weekend. Adrian Fernandez still 38 clear of Jose Antonio Rueda. In the Moto2 class, Vietti 1 point ahead of Arbolino. And then in MotoGP, Pecco still 37 clear of Marc Marquez as well. So, yeah, definitely still some battles. I think Moto2 is the one to look out for. But if we've learned anything this season, it is very much just a, the tide can turn so quickly. Some of you as well have been asking me to try and do like more of the featuring the feedback and things like that inside the game as well. So I'm going to try and make sure that I start throwing it in for some of the videos as well. As you can see, currently we are looking at controlled fuel delivery. But I think, yeah, we still want to try and, I feel like at the moment it's still more about the responsiveness of the bike as well. So I think we're going to try and say the bike's still very stiff to ride at the moment. But yeah, I don't know whether we're at the Hungaroring this weekend or whether MotoGP races somewhere else. I think they do. So let's just head out there.
Here we are again from the circuit where the second practice session is about to begin. The session will be important both to test the race pace and to book a place in Q2.
Well, heading out then onto the circuit, I have got no recollection of Balaton Park. Like I said, I thought that MotoGP did race somewhere else. But I had no idea where it was or where this circuit goes or anything about what we should be expecting then. So this is going to be a very interesting test early on. We're going to need to get a lot of practice laps in. You'd never guess it's been a couple of days since I played this game, would you? Because immediately I'm just going to start falling off and throwing myself around the circuit. Well, the big thing I'm hoping for this weekend is that we just don't see as many yellow flags as we did out in Austria, because they completely screwed us over right the way throughout the weekend. This circuit, though, very flat by the looks of things. But that's going to be my first ever lap here, kind of completed-ish. It was not fantastic. It's not been one to ride home about. But at least I kind of now know where I'm going. That's reassuring in MotoGP. Well, easily one of my weakest kind of components about my gameplay still on this game is my quick change of direction. Kind of low speed when you're trying not to get too heavy on the throttle. This track is just full of those though, so that's going to be quite tough this weekend to really kind of feel like I'm getting a lot out of it but not overstepping the mark. It's just really trying to roll on and then roll off. It is all about smoothness and not braking on the curbs. Well, we have desperately been plugging away trying to get lap times on the board round here, and I think I am slowly but surely getting there. A little bit ragged through the final corner, but we're going to find another 1 second on that lap time. I think the key, honestly, around this circuit is just to brake late into the corners, obviously, where you've got the quick change of direction. That way you can't really get back on the throttle between them. Otherwise, you just do that over and over. I'm going to go for one more soft run, but we still need to find another few tenths. Well, according to the game then, we seem to be losing most of our time through this final sector, but I'm not really sure where or how there is getting the power down out of the final corner. No, we've run out of fuel! Oh, we were a second up! We're going to improve, I think? No, we don't still. We lose out by 1/10 of a second, but there is definitely the time in the bike. Well, after on that disappointment on the last run, hopefully this time round we're going to actually be able to get to the line with some fuel in the bike. We have got time for one more lap if we need to, but I'm hoping this one's going to be a good one. 46.1 puts us P4, and right at the end of it, we have hopefully made our way straight into Q2. Well, there we are then. Luca Lanetta and Maximo Quilez there, and Dennis Fogg are all making it into the 145s. But nice to know that despite a lot of practice, we did finally have the pace to get straight through into Q2 there. Adrian Fernandez, championship leader, doesn't, however. But luckily for him, neither does Jose Antonio Rueda. So both of our top 2 in the championship really struggling at the moment.
Welcome back, all you MotoGP fans. We're live for the second Moto3 qualifying session. Just a few more minutes and we'll find out which riders will start from the front of the grid in tomorrow's race.
As we head out into qualifying then, my goal is pretty simple. We've got one spare set of the soft compound tyres, so I want to go out, try and set as quick a lap as I can, as quickly as I can, and hopefully dip into the 145s. We need to get around these guys because the AI tend to fall off down at turn 1 and turn 2, but not if, I think that's Almanza, isn't it? Completely dive bombs me. I must admit, I do love just getting absolutely dive bombed by all the AI absolutely everywhere, as accidentally pressing the bumper button there as we try not to fall off behind Ruida. But I'm staggered. Is there just no blue flag procedure in MotoGP? Is it just the AI on this game? I really have no idea, but they can be so bad. I finally remembered to start using my rear brake, though, in qualifying, so hopefully that's going to find me a little bit more pace. Still don't think we made a mistake by using all of our soft tyres to make sure we get into Q2, but, I mean, just look at that! How are they able to find so much more pace down into that final corner? Almanza and Carl, they're both down into the mid-45s. We can only manage a 46.6, sorry. And that's probably all we're going to be able to do. I'm trying to just find a little bit more time then on my last ditch run. And I can't help but wonder just how much better this circuit would be if some of the chicanes that they've kind of thrown in were removed. But we are going to find another 2/10, so that's going to put us P12. But a pretty disappointing qualifying. But again, we should just be happy we made Q2. There we go then. Jose Antonio Ruida on a 1:44.8. A ridiculously quick lap time coming into the session. We did end up last, though, rather unsurprisingly there, come the, when everybody else has set their last time. So, a bit disappointing. But yeah, I mean, Ruida got a huge opportunity to take points out of Paqueras.
Just a few more moments and we'll switch to the starting straight for the Moto3 class race. Let's move straight to the starting grid. There's very little time until the start of the race. You can literally feel the tension. The weather is clear and temperatures are far from extreme. However, tyre wear will play a very important factor in today's race. That's why lots of riders have been using medium tyres in the front and rear.
Well, sorry, I of course did actually mean Adrian Fernandez at the top of the World Championship. But either way, yeah, Ruida with a big opportunity this afternoon to try and make a big dent in that lead. Looks like Urarate has picked up a long lap penalty as well for impeding. So not too sure how he managed that. But mediums front and rear, let's do this thing. Well, ready on the grid then, waiting on those 10 red lights for the start of the race. That mighty long hole, but it is going to be lights out, and away we go then. Not off to a particularly good start. Adrian Fernandez, Noah Detweiler will both get past us in towards turn 1. But we just want to try and stay out of trouble at the start of this race. There are a lot of bumping and bashing on our inside, but we'll just about kind of stay up on both wheels there. I don't think we've ended up losing too many places off of that start. So we'll try and tuck down the inside of a couple of riders in towards the next couple of corners. Apparently, Lanetta and I have had some beef at some point recently, so I'm not too sure what's happened there as we will try and switch back Ricardo Rossi. We've got a new objective this season as well. We need to try and be ahead of Detweiler by the end of the next 4 rounds of the World Championship. There is a big dive coming in. Well, I think tyre temperature management is going to be really key today because you can tend to really overheat the rear tyre if you make a little bit of an error there. It's about having a look down the inside of Balm in towards the next corner. It's this hairpin. I feel like we can be very good against the AIs. Oh, we'll just move Balm out of the way, apparently. We might get a warning for a penalty on that one. Nope, track limits he's going to get done for. So I don't even think he went down in that scenario there, as trying to thread the needle between Moodley and Yamanaka. And there we go. Back up then into the points early on. Looks like Ruida's still leading this one. No idea how many places Adrian Fernandez has made up early on. But I'm just happy we're still on both wheels. Ready then just by the end of lap 2. I can't help but feel that my battles are likely going to be with the riders behind rather than the riders in front today. Trying to get the throttle down is so difficult. Oh, there goes Ricardo Rossi down at the final corner. There might have just been a tiny bit of contact there, but I think he was far too aggressive trying to tip the bike in, and, you know, we were already trying to go for the apex. Never mind having another rider down or inside there with a bit of a lunge. I mean, the big issue we've got today, for whatever reason, just seems to be managing the rear tyre. For some reason, it is just sliding around on basically every corner exit. I'm trying to be as smooth as I can with it, trying, you know, to not try and, you know, change direction of the bike or do any major weight transfers apart from the acceleration. But it just seems to be all over the place this weekend, as that corner is just about flat if you nail it. But otherwise, yeah, we just cannot do anything. I mean, the tyres are getting absolutely chewed up as well around this circuit. That front left-hand side of the tyre is just wrecked already, and we're barely over half distance. So just trying to keep it alive as best as I can. When I'm not getting dive bombed by the AI, I actually don't think our pace is that bad around here, but Luca Lanetta is just looking for opportunities everywhere. Just over 2 laps to go then of this race, and while I don't know whether this circuit is particularly well loved IRL in MotoGP, but I must admit, inside the game, I'm not a fan of this venue. It is pretty terrible, and, well, it just kind of allows where the AI are very OP in certain aspects. This circuit just really seems to accentuate that, as the tyre wear as well has been ridiculous throughout this one. That front tyre looks to be absolutely chewed up, so we really are just trying to manage it to the end, as when we're not getting dive bombed by Luca Lanetta, I feel like our pace isn't that bad. The problem is he wants the final points paying position. So do I, though, and I'm not willing to give up without a fight. I think I've worked out maybe why I'm struggling so badly around this venue. I think my controller is actually sticking on the throttle, and it's just, I mean, it's not making it impossible, but it's certainly making it a lot less forgiving than you would normally expect it to be. I think it's also just been the tyre wear around here is impossible to manage, but the net has gone by, Moodley's now gone by us as well, late on in the day, and it has just been a tough weekend yet again. Really not the rebound I was hoping for after the Austrian Grand Prix last time out, but again, we're learning. We are certainly learning inside this game at the moment, as trying to send it up in towards the final half a lap or so of this race. Can we get back to Lanetta? We are really just giving it everything. This third sector, we're not that bad through, but you just see how much the rear is just wobbling around. There's barely any grip left on the bike, and everywhere, I mean, I'm on half throttle there, and it's just snapping out on me. So frustrating at the moment, because it feels like there's nothing you can do about it. So a little bit of contact there again with Moodley. Just don't want to pick up a penalty on this last lap of the race as we try and throw the bike out. I think it is going to be Angel Baqueras, though, that is going to claim victory today, as round the outside of Moodley will go. Very happy with that move, but I'm sure we'll get dive bombed down at the final corner. Can we go slow in, fast out against the Australian? I don't think we can. Getting the power down towards the line. P17. That has been a tough weekend.
As the riders return to the pits, let's take a look at the final results of this Moto3 race.
Well, there we are then. Angel Baqueras will take the win by just 0.3 of a second ahead of Jose Antonio Rueda. Alvaro Carpe in P3 ahead of Maximo Quilez. And Batelli rounding out your top 5. Almanza down in P12, but you can see, yeah, Adrian Fernandez P21. So another weekend where he's going to fail to score points there. 17th for us, not quite what I wanted to do, but certainly it could have gone worse, to be completely honest. Adrian Fernandez, though, is gap at the top cut to just 18 points there, as Baqueras moves up into P3. And only Tayo Furusato is the only non-Spaniard inside your top 7 at the moment. We get relegated down to P13 as well in the standings then, not that far away from Carraro. Constructors-wise, CIP still in P10 at the moment. We just need a resurgence of form. But thank you all so much for watching, and we'll be back very soon. Ready? I think we're back in Spain next.